"If you'll follow me, gentlemen," Colonel Massimo Verdun said to the representatives from Parliament as they huddled in the thin shade of their truck, "we'll get started." The 6 representatives, personally chosen by President Kaba, followed Verdun back into the heat of the midday sun. Tongo was located in the Kono region of Sierra Leone, well east of the coastline's cooling ocean breezes. The representatives walked with Colonel Verdun up the slight hill through the steamy air, their shoes crunching over pressed gravel and their noses wrinkling at the stench of sun-baked mud rising from the shores of the river beyond. Perspiration darkened their shirts in widening blotches that looked like huge insects clawing their way through the fabric. "As you know, we retook the Tongo diamond fields from the Revolutionary United Front over a year ago," Colonel Verdun resumed near the crest of the hill. He wore his coarse black hair cropped close to his scalp, his face dappled with scars and his stoutness further exaggerated by a belly that hung over his gun belt. "This, of course, has nearly crippled the rebels' ability to purchase arms on the black market and has allowed the government to use the profits to make substantial investments in our nation's infrastructure." The 6 representatives exchanged frowns. Evidence of such investment remained nearly non-existent, leading many lawmakers to question the functionality of the once diamond-rich fields. Hence this tour. A trail had been flattened at the top of the hill, angling down toward a narrow ribbon of water. Government soldiers stood at their posts all along the riverbank, overseeing dozens of workers busily dipping large sieves in the water and scooping up whatever they could. The workers shook the sieves to sift out sediment and dirt, then inspected whatever lay trapped by the screen. The toilsome motion had a choreographed flavor to it, as if it formed the steps of some well-practiced, synchronized dance. "These are alluvial diamonds, of course, and the method for mining them has remained unchanged for centuries, with a few exceptions." As the tour group approached the river, more workers hurriedly collected the contents of the sieves into wheelbarrows and brought them to a conveyor belt on which the stones and rocks were placed. "The conveyor is covered with axle grease," Verdun explained. "Rough diamonds, we've learned, stick to such grease while regular stones do not." Verdun failed to add that this had been learned from the rebels who had mined Tongo far more successfully when it had been in their possession. The conveyor belt ferried the stones scooped up from the river to a central location of tables squeezed amidst several high piles of excavated dirt. There, another group of workers, under the even more watchful eye of soldiers, stored the potential diamonds in wooden pails. "There have been no incidents here in Tongo since I took over security," Verdun said proudly. "We believe the rebels have totally vacated the area, but we have placed mines and traps in the surrounding woods in case they return." Suddenly, an uncovered truck packed with men and women clad in tattered shorts and frayed shirts rolled down a service road cut from the surrounding forest. The truck parked at an angle off the steep grade, and a pair of soldiers armed with M16 assault rifles climbed down from the cab. "The next shift of workers has arrived," Colonel Verdun told the government representatives clustered around him. "Shifts are 8 hours long, from sunup to sunset." He checked his watch. "This shift appears to be a little early, but—" His voice tailed off as the soldiers herded the workers from the truck, prodding them with the barrels of their M16s.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.